Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name's Trevor. Really grateful to have you here. And today's video, I'm just going to be going over 5 fragrances that I think are great hidden gem picks for the month of May. A lot of these are going to have floral components, you know, April showers, spring, May flowers, that sort of vibe going on. And they're all going to be affordable, so you can find most of these for under the $50 price range. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the list, starting from my least worn to most worn out of these 5. So starting the list off with my least worn, this is Shamal. Don't know how to pronounce the name of the house exactly. Botanicae. Anyways, so this is described by a lot of people in the Fragrantica comments as being like smelling like a more floral take on Green Irish Tweed. I can kind of get that, whereas Green Irish Tweed definitely has a rolling green hill kind of brisk dewiness to it. This has more of like a floral, musky, purplish kind of, or indigo or lilac colored scent profile. There's no lilac in here, but you definitely get a little bit of that kind of powdery, pink, purpley vibe that this gives off. It's definitely unisex, but you can definitely, for a floral fragrance for man, this is a really good pickup. The quality in here is exceptional. I think this house has done like 4 or 5 fragrances. I think they're kind of a clone house. I think some of them are, I know they have an Inventus inspired fragrance. This one seems to be drawing a little bit from the Cool Water Green Irish Tweed DNA, but it takes its own spin on it, makes it a lot more floral, a lot more musky, and is just, you know, a very elegant perfume, a very nice floral fragrance that a man can pull off for a very affordable price. I think Joma Shop has these for right under like 40 bucks. And I think Joy Amin is the only other reviewer that's talked about this house, and he also agrees that they're very high quality for the price point. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've tried anything from this house, and if you tried this one, what your thoughts on this one are. Moving on to the next one, I found out about this fragrance from Paul over at 50 Cents. I'll link his channel in the description below, and he actually found out about this fragrance from some of his own viewers. They recommended to him in his comment section, and that is BALDESSARINI Eau de Cologne Concentree. So be careful, because there is a regular Eau de Cologne. This is the Eau de Cologne Concentree, so make sure if you're picking this up that you go ahead and get the Concentree version. Now this fragrance is, I've tried 2 fragrances in this bottle style from BALDESSARINI, and they both were excellent. Both don't have the greatest longevity projection. This is definitely a cologne, even though it's concentrate. It is a little bit, probably like in the 4 to 5 hour range, but scent profile is an exceptionally beautiful offering for an affordable price. Again, right around $40 for this one. And this actually reminds me a lot of Fougere Royale from Houbigant. So this takes a very similar DNA and scent profile to the Fougere Royale by Houbigant, except it kind of replaces the lavender that's in the Fougere Royale with a tobacco note. So there's, but they share a chamomile note, which I think plays a large part in the overlapping kind of textural feel. This very elegant kind of soft, bright, floral. Definitely worth checking this one out. Again, it's another floral fragrance that a man can pull off, and it harkens to a classy men's iconic fragrance, Houbigant Fougere Royale. In my opinion, and to my nose, I don't think anyone else has voted that way on Fragrantica, or I haven't seen that comparison made, but it definitely reminds me of that fragrance. The next one in this hidden gem lineup is going to be here, ANNUCI for Men. Really nice. I mean, depending on your aesthetic sense of aesthetic, this is either a nice or a gaudy bottle. For these kind of goofy 80s looking bottles, I think this is one of the better looking ones. Also has a really nice little pop sound that makes when you pull the cap off. First found out about this fragrance from Raffi. I'll link his channel in the comment section down below as well. But what you get here is a really nice kind of chypre fragrance, and so it's again heavy floral fragrance for man. Came out in the 80s, so there is this slight dated feel to it from being like overly powdery and overly floral, and a little bit tending in a green direction, which also is a little bit of something that is characteristic of like 80s fragrances. But if I had to describe this fragrance in you know, a metaphorical terms, it would be like a powdery golf course. So it's like a powdery grass. Yeah, just a very dry but very powdery grass feel is kind of like how I imagine this one. I don't wear it as often because the floral aspect, it can be a little bit suffocating in high heat, and so like a day like today, this is really a perfect fragrance. It's not humid at all. It's you know, the beginning part of May. There's definitely a lot of greenery, but it's not too hot and it's not too cold, and it just like accents this sort of grassy environment going on behind me very well. And definitely has like an aura of class about it also. And again, nice affordable pickup. I think you find this one for right around $30 for the 100 ml. Next one I've spoken about on the channel a few times, and it's less of a fragrance and more of like a very fancy Febreze. It smells very similar to Febreze or fabric softener, those kind of air fresheners. But it's got a slight aquatic touch to it, and that is going to be Clean Classic Warm Cotton. This one probably has the least amount of dent in it, but this is actually my third bottle of this fragrance. I've gifted the other two, which kind of came down to about, each of the other two that I gifted got a pretty good dent in them before I let go of them. So popular fragrance, I've gotten compliments on it. I've gotten it to the point where people are asking me where they could get it, and I ended up gifting it to them. This is a 60 ml bottle, and you can get these for right around $40. I think Joma Shop has the best price for these at the moment. And like I said, it's just like a very slightly aquatic Febreze. It has a textural feel that's very staticky and fuzzy that gives you a sensation of warm cotton. So it does a very good job in that respect of just... And there's also a slight floral component too. So floral, aquatic, clean cotton. That's really what you get here. I think it's marketed as a woman's fragrance, but it's easily pulled off by a man. It's perfect for like a button-up white t-shirt kind of attire, and great for those May mornings and like a May atmosphere that you get during this time of the year. And again, it's keeping in line with that floral theme for the month of May. That's Clean Warm Cotton from Clean. And I also believe that this brand is unique because they use sort of like no testing on animals and vegan ingredients and like good for the environment type stuff. So if you're into that and want to support that type of business practice, then check these guys out as well. Finally, my last hidden gem on this list, very hard to find. They are an Italian house, and they used to be available for purchase on eBay and Amazon pretty readily. Right now, Small Flower, I think, is the only website that I've seen them have it listed at, and it's right under $50, and that is Vetiver and Rum from the house of Helen. So this one might, like I said, it's a little bit rare, might be difficult to come by. I've read on Fragrantica that this was supposed to smell like Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. I don't think it smells like Grey Vetiver at all. The vetiver in here is very creamy and soapy. This actually reminds me a lot more of Boucheron Pour Homme. But this is, I think this came out in the 90s sometime. I think somebody on the Fragrantica comment section said that they've been wearing the aftershave of this since the 90s. But it smells like a more modern, updated version of Boucheron Pour Homme. It lacks the sort of sparkly citruses that has. This is more of like a very dry citrus, like a citrus powder, over some very soapy vetiver, which it shares with Boucheron. That's like a very nice soapy fragrance. And then the modern touch in this comes from that rum note, which is more of like a white rum. Very clean smelling, but also just still has this aura of fun about it. I think this would be great for like a pool party or spending some time on a boat on the river. This is just like a very gentlemanly, dressed up, elegant type of fragrance that you would wear in a fun environment. So yeah, like a yacht party or something, I could see this being really great for that. And just the beautiful, beautiful textural the way that this comes across. It's like so creamy and very just bright citrus, but it's not fresh squeeze. It's like as if you were to take the rinds of citruses and run them through a coffee grinder and then dry it out, and it's like this very powdery kind of citrus over top of some very creamy soapy vetiver. And I think there's like even it's got a bunch of notes in here. I think there might even be a clove note and everything, so it's very complex and got some depth for just like a somewhat simple scent profile. But definitely this one, and for sure has the biggest dent. I think you can see I've got about like 10 or 20 mLs missing out of here. Wouldn't mind getting a backup bottle of this one for myself, but like I said, they're getting pretty rare. And you used to be able to find these for right around 30 bucks. Like I said, Small Flower is the only one I've seen that really has it in stock, and it's like around 50. I think Amazon you can buy it from as well for right around 40, but it's shipping from Italy, so it's got like a $20 shipping rate. So you're going to be looking at paying about 60 for this. I still think it's worth that price. I wouldn't pay more than 60. But it is, yeah, a very nice hidden gem and perfect for this time of the year in the month of May. So that's HELAN, Vetiver, and Rum. Okay, I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I hope this was of some value to you. I hope that you may have at least been turned on to some of these fragrances. You can go and check them out on Fragrantica or Parfumo or Base Notes, and maybe do some more research and see if one of these is right for you. I think they're all pretty great floral fragrances. This one, not so much floral, but really nice soapy fragrance. All some kind of accords that work great during this month of May. And let me know what you're going to be reaching for this month, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.